Visualization with Seaborn. What is Seaborn? Seaborn is a visualization library which we can use to create the visualization charts as simple as this and as advanced as this, even more advanced than this, in a matter of minutes. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Learn Area, and to understand the concept very clearly, please watch the video till the end. Once you are done with watching the video, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Let's have a look at its definition first. It says Seaborn is a Python data visualization library which is based on Matplotlib, and it provides us high-level interface to create very attractive and informative statistical graphics. This particular library, which is Seaborn, is based on these four primary libraries. If you see its official website, on Seaborn's official website, then you will find the information that these four libraries are the primary libraries basis on which Seaborn has been created. Now, just don't worry about all these four libraries. It's not necessary that you must have good understanding of all these libraries, then only you can learn Seaborn. It's not going to be like that. Let's talk about all of these four libraries one by one. Let's start with NumPy and SciPy. Do you need to know this before starting with Seaborn? Not really. Now let's talk about Matplotlib. Matplotlib itself is a visualization library. Even if you don't know Matplotlib, you can start with Seaborn. But if you are interested in learning this, you can click the link showing here at the upper right corner, and you can watch the videos from that playlist to learn about Matplotlib. Now let's talk about pandas. Do you need to learn pandas before starting with Seaborn? Then the answer is yes. Pandas is a data manipulation tool or library which is available in Python, and that is important that you have basic understanding of manipulating the data. Then only you will be able to have very good understanding how to visualize them. But don't worry, if you want to learn pandas again, then you can again click the link showing at the upper right corner over here, and you can learn the panda in detail starting from the beginner level. There are a number of plots covered under Seaborn Library and if we categorize them all, then there are six categories in which we can group them all together. One, categorical, then distribution plot, relational plots, regression plot, matrix plot and multi-plot grids. Right? So in categorical plot, we will study about all of these plots. We will learn how to create all of these plots. In distribution plot, we will learn this set of plots, and then in regression section we will start with simple linear plots, and we will keep on adding the advancements in the subsequent points. In matrix plot, we would start with heat maps and cluster maps. These are slightly important in nature. In fact, all of are important, but these are something which we most frequently use when we are trying to check the relation between multiple columns in our data frame. Now let's jump to the Jupyter Notebook and start with Seaborn Library. Here the first step comes in installing the Seaborn Library. Let's see how can we do that. If you are using Anaconda distribution, then all that you need to do is say conda install Seaborn. And if you are using anything other than Anaconda distribution, then you simply need to say just one correction which I would like to make over here is conda, right? So if you are using anything other than Anaconda distribution, then all that you need to say is pip install Seaborn, and then you just hit Control Enter if you're using Jupyter Notebook, and that will be installed. Because this is already installed in my machine, so I will not be executing this, but this is going to be as simple as this. Just type this and hit Control Enter if you're using Jupyter Notebook. Next thing which comes in is importing all the required libraries. What are the required libraries that we would need when we are starting with Seaborn libraries? So those are going to be first pandas as PD, then I would import NumPy as well, NP, but trust me, that's not mandatory to learn NumPy before you start with Seaborn. Then I would say import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and then the library which we are going to study over here, that is Seaborn, as SNS. So this all set of libraries we would require over here. So this all I have just imported. Now time comes to import the data frame on which we will be starting with a Seaborn plot. So the data frame which I will be using, I'll create a mart data frame, and in that I would read an Excel file which is pd.readexcel, and in that I will provide this location. In this, all that you need to do is just quickly change this all backward slashes with forward slash, and then say the file extension name, and then I will just give you a quick glimpse of this data frame. Here we have our data frame. Let's have a look at its shape. Again, I have explained all of these things which are related to pandas in the video. Just watch that video and you can understand them very quickly. Alright, so let's see what is the shape of this data frame. There are 1000 records in this particular data frame and 17 columns. Let's see the list of columns. What are the list of columns that we have? Those are this list of columns. So these all are the columns which we are going to be using in our entire series to understand the visualization further, right? So let's again have a look at top n number of rows. These are the n number of rows which we will be, we will be using all the rows, but these are just sample. Right now, because this is an introductory video, so I will keep it simple and short. So here I will just show you how to create a basic count plot. For that, all that you need to do is say sns.count. Why are we saying SNS? Because here I imported Seaborn library and defined that as SNS, right? So that's why I'm using SNS over here. Now sns.countplot, and in that either you can provide the data at x-axis or y-axis. So we will start with x-axis. What is it that we want to take a count of? We want to take count of gender. All right, and what else can we do? There are many other things which we can do over here, but let's keep it simple and use one variable only. The next thing which we need to do is provide the data frame name, which is going to be mart, and then just hit Control Enter. Now here you have the result. So like you can see in mart data frame there are 1000 records, and out of 1000 the distribution is equal between male and female. Female also has done 500 transactions and male has also done 500 transactions. Well, so this is it in this video. As I said, this was introductory video, so I just tried to keep it simple and short. Thank you very much for watching the video. Stay tuned for further videos in which we will be covering each of these plots in detail. Thanks once again. All the best.